Oh, welcome, welcome everyone. You have caught me with stuff all over my table. I hope you're doing well. I am digging into my December day by day for 2021. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I have a process. I will definitely reshare some of that information, but I will also link you to my video from last year where I gave you some quick and easy tips to do your December day by day. Things that will help you make it go faster, be less stressful, some economical ideas, and so forth. So I will just quickly reiterate how the December day by day concept goes. So if you're not familiar with it, it is really just a way to document very quickly each and every day in December. This is an older one, much older I'm showing you. It's very mix matchy. However, each day has a number and each day something different happens, and you're to document it, take a moment to write about it, be very present during this very, very busy time of the year. So that's one. And then of course, Elizabeth Crafts came out with their lovely planner covers, and this is my Sidekick Essentials size from last year. It is the olive planner. And of course, everything I talk about today I will link below for sure. But basically this is a little smaller size than the one I just showed you, and it has the same exact concept. Every day is just a little something different. And it's wonderful to look back on, especially, but it's very rewarding to do each day because it really makes you slow down, be mindful, take in what's happening. Just snap one picture, print it out, and put it in your book. So I have decided moving forward, instead of having all kinds of different books on the shelf, I am going to do all my December day by days for the next handful of years in the same planner. So I have purchased another one and two more just in case they run out. And that's going to be my plan. But what I want to show you today is we're going to make 2 pages together real quick, and then I want to give you some inspiration and into these previous pages here. A lot of these dies are not yet available. When they are, the links will be below in the description here. If you don't see them yet, that means they're not quite available yet. I'm a little early in showing you these things. But today we'll work with most things that you can get now, and maybe just a few things that are coming very, very soon. And before I dig into these 2 pages, I just want to show you what I've got going on here and what I'm using this year. It's totally a personal preference, of course, what papers you decide to use, but I have decided to go with mostly the Graphic 45 collection from, I'm trying to see if there's a date on here, a couple of years ago. 2017 this first came out, Winter Wonderland, and I am using the 8x8 collection, and you'll see me use cardstock and other things, but mainly I'm going to use this as my kind of same palette going throughout. And then I'm going to mix in, now here's one of those brand new products I don't think is quite available yet, but we'll see by the time this video airs. This is Reminiscence, the book number 3. This one has a lot of Christmassy stuff in it, but it is also very year-round worthy, okay? So again, as in the style of all 3 of the Reminiscence books, there are very thin, paper-thin pages in the beginning of the book, and as you can see, mine is all torn apart. Pages have been pulled out, but wonderful patterns and prints. And then in the back half, those patterns and prints repeat again, only this time they're more like a cardstock thick page. And it does say the 2 different weights on the front here, 120 grams GR, 250. Okay, so that's the difference there. And of course this is designed by the lovely Esther with Elizabeth Crafts. And so one of the first things that I do to make this very economical and easy is I am going to number and label each page by the day. So new products coming out. We have a new stamp set with all the numbers 1 through 30. And so I went ahead and I pre-stamped on a bunch of circles These circles measure 1 inch. So a lot of us have a 1-inch punch. I just punched it out of some, this is old graphic 45 paper, but I like this parchmenty colored side. So I went ahead and I stamped all those, and I'll show you that stamp set. Like I said, I've got stuff everywhere. This is brand new, calendar numbers. So you've got them all, and then you've got these great words here. So that's what I'm going to use this year. And also you saw the circle behind the number, and if you can see the little detail, there are little stitched lines. That's a stitch circle around that. That comes from a new die as well. It just looks like that. But of course you could use a punch for that as well. This one measures just a little bit bigger than the 1 inch, so this is 1 1/4 inch circle. And I will tell you what it comes out of. I got my stack over here. Oh, it comes out of this really fun one that we'll talk about. The iris shutter. We'll get to that. I'll show you that in my book. But that's what I have used to, mat behind my numbers. Okay, and then everything else you see here is just stuff that I did when I was in the car on the way to Florida for Thanksgiving, which is exactly what I did last year. I took a bunch of stuff with me. I fussy cut some things out. This is stuff you can do in front of the television leading up to December. We don't want to wait till December to start this. So if you can get some things cut and prepped and ready, great. This is just a Christmas tree die from one of the new sets. So I'll do that, and then I went to the book number 3, and I cut out a lot of these little tags. These will be great for journaling. Again, some more tags that look like this, merry and bright. All these great tag strips that say different things about the holidays and family. So cut those out, got those ready. I had a couple of snowflakes left over for another project. Some things I stamped. You just get stuff ready. Let's see. Oh yeah, this little guy. This is one of Yosette's new dies, the little gnomes. I just went ahead and put him together, which was tricky. Of course, I did her in the car. She's not as good. He was done before. But this was tricky in the car, so I wouldn't recommend that. But if you like a challenge, that's something to try. Okay, some other things that I do to get ready. I've got, this is just one of the containers from the planner cover. And so I just was filling it with all the stuff as I was traveling, and it has the little clear lid, of course, to protect everything. But yeah, more things that I cut out from the book 3 were these great little things. You can make them into little pockets. It's got that little top notch there. And you'll see that in one of my pages coming. And so I just got all this stuff ready, and I threw it in this box. Just cut things from the paper. Some things I just die cut, didn't know what I was going to use them for yet. These great labels, cut a bunch of those out. Cut aparts from the graphic 45 paper. Border strips, pre-cut. You're getting the idea, I think. So that's a big time saver if you can do that before you ever start to design your pages. And then of course, doing the pages is just a matter of not thinking too much, grabbing your page dies and just cutting a bunch. Just cut a bunch of pages. And you can decide from the dies that you have what you want to use. Like last year, I stuck with just the rounded corner page die. I can't tell you which one that is. Can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, as you can see, no tabs on the top, no tabs on the side, just basic pages. This year, I am going to change it up a little bit. And I have a top tab page here, and I have a what do we call that? Like a notebook edge page here. So I did kind of mix it up a little bit this year. And like I said, we'll take a closer look at this in just a minute. All right, so the last spread, I'll just give you a quick little peek, but I will talk about them later. The last spread that I did was 8 and 9, and now today we're going to do these together. So this, of course, is the back side of that paper with the stars. That is from the book 3, and then this is from graphic 45. So they work well together, I think. So we're going to move this aside and start working on these. And I do have a little bit of a plan in place, and I'll show you what I'm thinking, and then we'll put it together. So I had this even from last year. It's stamped and die cut, and I think it's close to my heart. Maybe it's Stampin' Up, I'm not sure. But you know, you can use what you have on hand. You don't have to have everything that I have. So I was thinking about putting that there because I love my coffee and my little holiday drinks. I have die cut a couple of candy canes. These little candy canes come from Yosette's, one of Yosette's new dies. If I can find it quickly, I will tell you. Yeah, believe it or not, and these are available. The candy cane is from the Train Carts die, and it's got all these little pieces that make the train cars, plus this great little, you know, light string, holly, packages. Well, you'll see. You'll see what I did. I use a train car as a package. Yeah, the candy cane and bows and such. And then I also am going to do some little peppermint rounds, and that comes from the holiday train set. These are actually the wheels on the train if you look at the little sample picture, but I'm just going to make some embellishments out of those. So I've got the circles ready, and I have colored my little peppermint insides with some red, and those are going to go right on there and look really cute. So this is just little prep work that I've done. Got the candy canes ready. All that's going to go together nicely. And then I have some of the whole reinforcements die cut out of the same paper you see here, which will go on this left page. And that's just my way of tying in something from the other page to this one to make them feel a little cohesive. So those will end up going there, and some pink and red will end up going over here. So that's why I have done some of this candy canes and peppermints. One other thing I'm going to play around with is the little light string that I just showed you. I die cut 3 of them out of the soft finish white cardstock, and I have started to add some pink and silver of the good old, gosh, I haven't used these in a while, Wink of Stella brush pens. And so I'm just alternating pink and silver, and then I think I'm going to kind of put those across the top here to pull some of that pink over this way as well. And then I just have to get some photo mats on each page and a little journaling spot over here. And you can see that I've already almost figured out the whole thing. So let me get a few more things ready and we'll get this on the pages. All right, I have several things prepped and ready. One of which is the whole reinforcements for my right hand page over here. I have actually cut right from this beautiful paper that's the same as this one over here. I love to do that as opposed to just solid cardstock. I just think that just makes it that much more interesting, fun to look at, pleasing, very nice. So that's how that's looking on this page, and I just use the round ones just like on the left side here. And so a couple of other things that I've gotten ready. For the left page, we've got our number 10, we've got our coffee cup, we need a photo mat, and I have decided to put this over here. I think I talked about putting it here, but I'm going to put it here. And so first, you see that little hole there, I'm going to go ahead and use my good old crocodile, the small hole, and I'm going to set an eyelet in there. Just happen to have a really pretty olive green colored one, but you can use any color really. And then I will probably put a little piece of twine or something on there. I don't know yet, we'll see. Now for the photo mat on this left page, I got to thinking I didn't want it to be too big. My cup is pretty big. So I have used this funny looking thing here, and all this is, it's from a brand new die, and it's got this little coat hanger at the top. Isn't that cute? So this die is the new large number set. Again, hopefully out soon, if not by the time you see this. So this comes on here with all these great big numbers. And you can use it, of course, with the coat hanger, but this time I think I just want that bottom rectangle as a photo mat because it's got this little dot stitched line going all the way around. So it's better than just cutting a rectangle. It's got little rounded corners, and I already inked a little pink on those other edges, so I'll finish that off. So I'm thinking that's gonna go there somewhere. We need our journaling thingy. Where did that go? I lost it. Hold on. Found it. Stuck under this thing. So do I need to ink the edge? I went ahead and cut this out from the paper, but then I put it onto a little bit of like a craft cardstock. So I'm just going to hit those outer edges with a little brown and just making a plan. It's always interesting, much more interesting, if you ever notice somebody's like scrapbook layout or page layout, why does one look more interesting maybe than yours or than others? And that is, if you notice, they will overlap often, items. If you have things just floating independently on a page, everything is not touching there. I mean, you couldn't even put this on here if you were doing that, but you can see how it's not quite as interesting as if you start to introduce a few more things and overlap them slightly. So that's what I'm thinking of doing here. And I might even move this photo mat over to the left so everything isn't like perfectly centered. I think that's what I'm going to do there. And then on the right, I have already started to put this together. I die cut this photo frame. This is from Sidekick Essentials 1, an oldie but a goodie. And of course it's got the photo frame and it's got different words that you can put in there before you die cut it. And so I chose the word today, and I mounted this on just a scrap of red, the same red I'm using over here. So I'll just cut away this excess. And I've inked the edges in a soft pink, just to kind of go with everything else that's going on here. And so I want to show you this other thought I was having. So you could, you know, stamp a piece of paper and put this down. And I will probably use this somewhere else. It was something that I just did without knowing exactly where it was going to go. But now that I'm looking at my page, this really doesn't work very well. So instead, I'm going to use that same stamp, and I just cut a piece out of that same paper I've been working with. I'm going to stamp this in black. This stamp is also from a new set. This one says, "Believe in the Magic of Christmas." Let me find that set real quick. Pardon my sleeves. Oh, it's this one here. Hello December. And you can see that this awesome little girl in front of the Christmas tree is one of those sets, and I've already stamped it and it's ready to color. There's a whole lot of other cool things on here as well. This Be Jolly circle is on here. There's several things you'll see in pages prior where I used a lot of these stamps. So that's brand new, or at least coming out very, very soon. So let me stamp this. Good luck on camera. You get one chance. And I'm doing it way down here so I can see it really well. Now I would recommend using a stamp platform if you're not comfortable, just in case you don't get it all. But I got lucky, because with the stamp platform you can come back around and do it a couple more times if need be. All right, I want to let that ink dry a little bit. I'm going to grab my little stub punch here and take away those corners just like a little ticket. If you didn't have this little stub punch, a small circle punch will do the trick. You just slide your circle punch in there just slightly and nip off the tip, and it gives it the same effect. So there's that. And just to have that stand out, we're going to ink that edge just like we've been doing everything else. And I feel like that is definitely going to tie in so much better in our page here, for sure, than this one would have. Okay, so there's that one. And of course we've got our number 11, and we've got our light strings, and of course, last but not least, we have our cute little peppermints. These I'm going to determine at the end where they're going to go, just because they might not make the cut. We'll see. So I'm thinking and thinking. This page will not have any journaling space unless I add one later, which is okay. There doesn't seem to be a lot of room for it. I can always put a little label maybe at the bottom down here. So maybe 11, since 10 will be down here, maybe 11 will be, I don't know yet, maybe there. Okay, so I went ahead and did 3 of these. I wasn't sure how many I would use, and I'm thinking they'd be cute. I don't know if I need all these. I was thinking they were going across the top, but now I like the idea of them maybe being across the photo frame instead. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think that's cute. And so we can always have some of these poking out the bottom. That's cute. One on the bottom, one on the top. Oh, I like that. That's cute. And then this guy can, do we need both? If I had thought about it, I might have flipped one over, but maybe I'll just stick both of them back there like that. Okay, oh, I'm liking that. All right, so rather than you watching me glue, I'm going to get this all put together and I will be back. Okay, and my pages are done. This is how they look. I am very happy with those. Of course, little things like I did not put any adhesive where things overlap a photo mat, just in case you want to get your photo under there a little bit. I did add a little bit of twine, and I popped up that label with some foam tape. And so there's that left page. We can put that in our planner. And then the right-hand page turned out like this. Very cute. And so see, I do have a little bit of space here if I want to add a little tag or something later with just a little bit of journaling or something about what's happening in that photo. And of course, just like before, there is no adhesive under here or under these little lights, just so I can sneak my photo under there. But that page is done. Okay, so we should go back to the beginning now and talk about what I use, keeping in mind I'm a design team member. I have all of it, so don't feel discouraged if you don't have everything. You know, you just have to be clever and find ways around and using what you have, and that's what I always encourage. So right away you see my dashboard page. Very, very simple. I have cut apart different things from that Reminiscence, the book number 3, and put it on this beautiful background paper, which is mostly all this collage that you see here. A little stamped circle from that set I mentioned earlier, cut apart, cut apart, cut apart. So super duper easy intro page. And then my first spread is looking like this. And here I have used the Winter Greens set, just for some very subdued holly back in the background. This little journaling area, of course this is from the book paper as well. It has little lines on there. That is this shape right here, which I used a couple of times, as well as the page die from Sidekick Essentials 5. Okay, over here, oh, and this is from the new stamp set that I mentioned. Hello December is actually oh, it was the one I mentioned earlier. Where did it go? Hold on. I keep losing things. Oh, there we go. That's the name of the stamp set. Hello December. Duh. Okay, so I used a couple of new stamp sets I'll talk about each time we go by. But there is Hello December and the little day by day. And then this is a brand new die, Sidekick Essentials 20, the Snowglobe. So I have used the page die for the basic rounded cornered page. And this is the little pieces for the snow globe, which is really super cute. And there's a little deer right there that, I don't know if you noticed that, he gets a little bit lost, but there he is on the front. So I die cut him. This is also a new stamp and die combination. So the stamp is from All the Details Small. This is new. And there is the stamp there. There's a smaller version there. And so on this die, Sidekick Essentials 19, Remember This Forever, there they are. So they work together, or you can stamp it and just cut it out. It's totally up to you. I put a big old eyelet in there and some twine. And there's my number 1. And that page is ready to go. Day 2 and 3 look like this. And so this is a cut apart from the paper. This is from something, can't remember, but it's just basically a stitched rectangle back there with rounded corners for my photo mat. This will provide a little space for journaling. This is stamped Cozy Days, is from the Cozy Days stamp set, brand new. Right in that label, fits perfectly. And I have my number 2 there. And this one is not a brand new die. It's a lovely one I haven't used until now. I've used parts of it. It's Sidekick Essentials 10, which is a big page die that actually folds over like that. And it does have all the letters to spell out today. It has these little, what are these called? Slide frames in there. And Treasure This. So I have used a couple of those things in the past, but today I just put it together like this. And this big Christmas tree comes from another new die, Forest Tree page, has bigger deer and one more back there. And then of course the page itself is a frame that has this tree, and I just use the tree. I just cut it out and use the tree only as a side decorative element here. This little photo mat that I have there is from an older set, Planner Essentials 30 Wave Pocket. And there's several different sizes of those, which is great. And you can see these tiny trees here. That's from a brand new set from Yoset. And I just used 2, I think, of that same small one. And it's got all these cute animals. This is called Winter Scenery. So it's like a slimline die background. A couple of trees, moose, little wolf, little fox, and 2 little bunnies facing 2 different ways. So that's a really cute, fun one that I'll get a lot of use out of in future projects. 4 and 5, this is a fun one. Watch this. But let's talk about 4 first. So going back to that initial die that I said, the Winter Greens, has been used here. This frame is from a new set, Sidekick Essentials 21 Polaroid Style. So this is the photo frame that I used in the background here, and the word joy is on here, and there's a whole bunch of other great things on here, but that's what I've used right there. And then this is just cut out from the paper collection and put right on there for journaling. Okay, this one, super fun. This is the Iris Shutter. It's got all these pieces and some. And the basic construction of it looks like this. So I keep this handy. This was my very first try. I keep it handy so I understand how all the layers come together. And Esther has created a video on how to build this, so I'm not going to recreate any of that. I'm going to let her be the master and show you how. But basically, let's zoom in on this page. So you can see that this is a beautiful little peekaboo for my little birdie. So this will have a photo, and maybe I can add some journaling later, but I just think that is super duper fun. So that's the Iris Shutter. And then we have this spread. This is day 6 and 7. This is just a basic tag from one of the dies. Cut aparts from the graphic 45 paper and from the book 3. And then this is a new die. Now see, this is the Sidekick size. Let me zoom back out. Remember, I'm working with the Sidekick size, but I'm using, you know, full-size planner dies for some of these embellishment ideas. Like that tree I showed you earlier, that was from a larger size planner die. So this is a big old candle page. They're set right into the frame. I cut them out just out of this frame and then layered up the little, you know, melting wax and the flames and the wicks and used it as a treatment over here. So that was super fun. All right, and then we have this page. I don't know if I have it out here. Let me make sure. As I went through the pile, it might have been with one of the ones I used. Yes, it was. It was from when I mentioned this one that had the two label dies. This is the Remember This Forever. That's the page die with that like notebook edge there. Okay, so that's what I used for that one. And then, you know, cut parts from the paper, fussy cuts from the graphic 45. This is a stamp. And then there's another one of those little labels, but without any of the stamping on it, and an eyelet. And then we've got this one. Very, very simply done, this one, because it's just cut aparts from the paper. Our same stamped circles. Die cuts from that same, you know, wintergreen set. There's some pieces from that holly. And this is from that one set I mentioned earlier where I used the outline. So we just have that to pop in there for journaling. Here's where our photo will go, and that page is done. I love these things. They're great. And then number 9 over here, this is where I mentioned way earlier when I was designing the page that I ended up using Yosette's, I think it was the train. Okay, that is the train carts. And if you, I don't have a picture, see, because I get the like the pre-production dies, so I don't have a picture yet, but I can go and print one. You can go online. These dies are available. It makes a cute little, like all these little train cars. And in the train cars are little packages. And again, there's that candy cane. So I use the train car to make the packages. And then I use the little bows for the smaller packages right here. And I use those for the tops of those. And of course, this part didn't reach, so I just cut little strips of paper to make up for it. But yeah, you have this little bow here for this one. And of course, there's those little light strings. So there's all kinds of fun stuff on this one, but that's what I've done here. This is that same frame I showed you before, back here where Joy was. Same one, and I stamped it. And then it comes to the spread that we worked on today. Okay, we'll take one last look at my finished pages. Very happy with how they turned out once again. Also very excited, I hope you are too, about the new dies and stamps coming out. I hope you give this a try. Take your time and enjoy your December. Have a happy, healthy holiday. And of course, you can always find Elizabeth Crafts designs, products straight from your local scrapbook store. If you do not have one, if you're not lucky enough, then you can certainly buy from many online stores, including directly from Elizabeth Craft Designs themselves. Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you soon.